Guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mo and you are on my channel on YouTube, Mauh. I just wanted to stop in today and record a video. This is going to be a vampire diary entry number 6. So I hope you guys have been enjoying your day. I hope that you will come back and watch all my future videos. Which means I hope you subscribe to my channel, and don't forget that if you do subscribe to my channel, it would be good to hit the notification bell so that you will be notified as soon as I come out with a new video. I know it's always fun for me, for the people that I follow on YouTube. I always like to be alerted as soon as a new video by them has been put out. So also, if at the end of the video you feel like you really do like this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up. So I kind of just want to talk a little bit today. If you've watched all the previous diary entries, there are 5 entries that came before this one. This is the 6th, and it's just about being a really sensitive human. So for me, the idea of being a vampire is really what you may understand as being super sensitive to what is going on around you. And I feel like as a super sensitive human being, a lot of people try to take control of your life and try to tell you how you should and shouldn't live your life, because they know that you are very sensitive to people's ideas and very sensitive to people's opinions and stuff like that. And so today I actually had an encounter with a family member who wrote me a long email, which I didn't read the whole email, but I briefly skimmed through the whole email, and it was basically telling me that Lucifer is only disguised as an angel of light, and the reason why I am the way I am basically is because people in my past have hurt me. And I just want to assure you that people don't have a say to your life. I believe that we choose the life that we are intending to live in this body on earth at this time in order to learn lessons that we would not have learned any other way. And so what I like to believe is true is that we saw the life that would be set before us if we chose the body that we are currently in, and there was an opportunity to learn that we could not pass up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in your life right now, you have learned many things, and perhaps you feel like you haven't learned enough. But let me guarantee you that if you continue to follow your own path, by the end of your lifetime in this physical body that you are in, you will have learned something that you find priceless. You will have learned something in this current life. If you are on your spiritual journey to being the truest version of yourself, you will, by the time you shut your eyes and die, have learned something so important that you would never pass up this lifetime for any other life, because you learned something that was very important to you. And so the whole idea was that people are trying to tell me that I am choosing the path that I'm currently on because of the fact that I've been hurt, and that I'm giving the power to other people. Basically what they're trying to tell me, these family members, is that I have given the power of my life over to how other people have made me feel, and that is not true. I've learned as an individual, the way I am now, that the power is mine. And don't let anyone ever tell you that the power is not yours. The power is yours to do what you want to do, to look how you want to look, to be who you want to be. And there is nothing else to it. So I just wanted to show you that I got a new Vampire Tarot deck today. The Vampire Tarot. And it is created and illustrated by Nathalie Hertz. So I don't think I'm going to use this Vampire Tarot deck today, but I just wanted to show you that I did get a new one. I'm really excited about it. I love this image. It's so beautiful. Oh my god. Look how beautiful this image is. I'm almost like, let's go ahead and use it, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think I should do? Should I use this Vampire Tarot deck? I think I'm going to save it for another day. Sorry, there's a train passing in the background. But let's go on and let's use the Tarot of Vampyres. And let's go ahead and pick a card from the Tarot of Vampyres. And I'll read from the Phantasmagoria book by Ian Daniels. I'm still thinking about that whole situation, about how I'm going to shuffle the cards while I'm talking to you, but I don't know. Comment down below if you feel like people try to control your life, try to use religion as a leeway, as some sort of, okay for them to try to control your life. As you know, I was raised in a Christian home, and it was a very strict Christian home. And I have nothing against the Hebrew God. I have nothing against the Hebrew God. I have nothing against angels. I have nothing against Christians. But I just have something against people who try to read your life story to you, like as if they know you better than you know yourself. And it's like, no, you know what? I'm the one in this body. I'm the one who's been through the things that I have been through. And you have no right to express who I am to me when I am me and you are you. Pay attention to your own life and your own things before you start judging other people. It's so frustrating. So I just hope that I don't put this frustration onto my cards, because I really want to be able to share something with you today and maybe not just vent the whole time. All right, so I'm going to pick a card. So we have the Four of Skulls. So I believe that the skulls are symbolic of pentacles. Sorry, there's a light on in front of me, so it's kind of shining on the card. But this is the Four of Skulls. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. You know what, guys? This reminds me of me and Lucifer. This reminds me of me and Lucifer just hanging out, being ourselves, and another thing that pissed me off was the fact that this person in my family had the nerve to tell me that Lucifer took advantage of me, and he presented himself to me as the angel of light while I was at my lowest point, in order to trick me into believing that he is the angel of light. Which I was like, seriously, this is ridiculous. Like, okay, I understand you want to tell me why I am the way I am and who I am because of what I've been through. But then to also go ahead and bring him into it and to pretend that like they know him when they don't. All they've ever known about him all their life is what the Bible has told them about him. And they've never really even delved into it themselves. So like, who are they to tell me, who he is? And like, that's just mean, because now they're starting to, they're trying to like incriminate Lucifer into making me think that he purposely tricked me into believing these things about myself, which again is another lie. It's a lie from this judgmental spirit that they have. Okay, I'm at the Three of Skulls. So Four of Skulls. So the Four of Skulls, the alchemy of the Four of Skulls card is the Sun in Capricorn. The alchemy is also mercy, which is Chesed on the Tree of Life. So let's see if I can remember the Tree of Life up until the point that I've memorized it. So first is Keter, Chesed, Gabura. I think Chesed is the second. But Chesed, Keter, Chesed, Gabura, Shokma, Tiferet. I'm trying to remember the Sephiro on the Tree of Life, but I think that Chesed is the second. But it means mercy. It could be the second or it could be the fourth. It's mercy, Chesed of earth, structure of material form. So like I said, it was the pentacles, which symbolizes materialistic things. The kindred spirits are Kukia and Menadel. So let's read the essence of this card, and as I go through, I'll let you know if I have anything to talk to you about the vampire spirit, because this is what this series is about, the vampire spirit and how I connect with the vampire spirit. So the essence of this card is the structure of matter, power, control, defensive strength, which is cool because when you think of strength, you think of one thing, but when you think of defensive strength, you think about a strength that protects you. Solid and rigid, order, condensed energy, impenetrable structure, which I like to believe is myself. I'm an impenetrable structure, and even though people will throw their fiery darts of lies towards me to make me feel like I'm on the wrong path and I'm doing the wrong thing. I am an impenetrable structure. And that is a really good affirmation, you guys. If you want to take that one and run with it, you're welcome to do that. I am an impenetrable structure. Impenetrable structure. Invincible. Rulership, status, a fortress, solar power, which is the sun, right? But when you think of the sun, you don't just have to think about the sun as like a light in the sky. When you think of solar power, you could think about the fact that the power of the sun makes so many things work. Like when you think of solar powered, like windows or solar powered cars, you know, you think about how the sun can be taken in, and that with the energy of the sun, things, even without the sun, if you have the energy of the sun stored up inside of you for the whole day, then that energy of the sun can power through the whole night and give you that fire and that energy and that drive. So solar power, gain of wealth, strength or influence, assurance, which can also include self-assurance, right? Being assured in yourself about who you are and where you're going and what you want to do. Success, and I feel like self-assurance brings success, so that's a good thing. Integrity, being true to yourself regardless of the lies that you are being told. Dependability, being dependable to yourself and completeness. Principles or organized religion. So the essence is talking about principles or organized religion, and it's talking about all these things as ways to stand up against organized religion. So the message is the Four of Earth. It says the Four of Skulls, but it's the Four of Earth basically, which is Pentacles. So this Tarot des Vampyres is using the skulls as a representation of Pentacles, which is representation of Earth. The fourth Earth card deals with power and defensive strength. And like, guys, I started this whole video talking to you about how I have defensive strength. So this is a good card. In a reading, it can relate to issues of security, stability, or structure in our physical life. So that just goes to show you that the things that you believe will manifest themselves in your physical life. And if you believe in the things that in your mind and you make them manifest in the world, that's how they come about. Is that, you know, it says structure in our physical life, and it's related to issues of security, stability, and structure in the physical life. Power and defensive strength, issues of ownership, defense, or holding a firm position are all indicated here. And that's interesting because I was just telling you about how I held my, maybe I didn't tell you what happened. So I wrote back this person and I told them that I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in hearing what they had to say about my life and who I was, and basically how do they know who I am? They've never lived my life, right? And I'm sure that's something that you've heard a lot before in regards to people trying to tell you how you should be and how you should live. The card is about mighty power, which can refer to a need to establish the card is about mighty power, which can refer to a need to establish and fortify our boundaries, endure a difficult situation, or take command of a situation. The Four of Skulls can imply earthly power or wealth, not only materially, but also a stable vitality in the richness of life. When this card appears, it means that strength or security is needed in order to resolve an issue. Which basically, it probably means to me that this issue is not resolved yet. You know, I'll probably always be hearing, you know, people's ideas of who I am and who I should be. But, you know, it's an issue that I'm working through, you know, with the other people that are trying to tell me who I am. But it's not an issue for me because I know who I am and I know where I'm going. And when I say I know where I'm going, it means I know that my path is the path for me. We must reject any dispensable embellishments and get to the heart of the matter. This card represents established belief systems, organized religion, the rule of law, or, at a personal level, the structure of our personal inner kingdom. In general, it is called it is a call to stand firm and secure, to create an internal or external structure of command. When related to profession or achievement, it refers to consistency, reliability, structure, organization, resulting in an increase of reward. So stick to it, guys. Just because someone throws a rock at your window doesn't mean you have to let the whole house be like seem destroyed, because that's the thing. This is a symbol, okay? Somebody throws a rock at your window and it breaks your window. It doesn't mean that your whole house is ruined, right? So somebody telling me who I am does not mean that this whole person that I've built up, this whole person that I've become, is just going to be shattered. No, that's not. It's just the window that's been shattered, you know? It's not the whole house that is destroyed. And that's how you should be too, is that you should recognize that just because someone throws a rock at your window doesn't mean that your whole house, your whole structure is ruined. Also great resources and reserves, which we need. You need great resources, and you need the reserves to keep standing. In the realm of our emotions, it symbolizes solid, lasting bonds, clarity, and feelings of secure emotional protection. In general, it refers to building a solid resolve and feelings of stability, a stable life, and a need to be steadfast. The Four of Skulls also implies material wealth, whether in earthly riches, goodness, or health. It doesn't have to just be, earthly riches. It can be health, which means a clear mind. Yes, okay, I have mental illness, but I'm not crazy, and I know that I have a clear mind if I take my medication, and I know that what I'm believing is not some, fable about how Lucifer, fell from heaven and then he wants to take everybody to hell with him. I'm not going to believe those fables, and those myths. The Four of Skulls also implies material wealth, whether in earthly riches, goodness, or health. It characterizes a rich life that is instilled with the beauty and pleasure of nature. That's what this card still stands for. It stands for a rich life that is instilled with the beauty and pleasure of nature. That card is totally talking to me, and hopefully it's talking to you too. So the analysis and symbolism of this card, the Four of Skulls. The card shows two figures standing on the solid defenses of their fortress. So these two are standing on the solid defense of their fortress. What did I tell you? They're together. So the male vampire represents the fiery aspect of power, potent, willful, and steadfast. The female illustrates measured control and reflection of energies that do not adhere to our will. So I'm going to say that again. The female illustrates measured control and reflection of energies that do not adhere to our will. So basically what I think that's saying is that this female illustrates control and reflection of the energies that she does not like. So she is controlling the energies that are coming in, and she is reflecting back out the energies that she does not like and that she does not agree with her will to accept. So both these aspects of power are evident in the card. The card contains the four elements in an ordered structure. This means that the power we employ can be from our will, emotions, thoughts, or form. It is unclear which vampire is in command. In reality, it is a binding of these different elements that create the impenetrable fortress. Oh my God. What I really want to say is something that I'm not going to say, but you can see that this woman here, to me, she represents me, and that horned, figure there represents someone else. And just the fact that these two are just chilling out, hanging out together, it's not about judging people by the way they look or who they're hanging out with, but it's about being with the person and people that you can feel strength with, that you can feel accepted with for who you are, and without being judged. Okay. So it says that it is unclear which vampire is in command. In reality, it is a binding of these different elements that creates the impenetrable fortress. So these two together, because they understand each other, they are creating that impenetrable fortress of their minds, because they are reassuring each other of who they are and who they know they are. So it may be that someone is projecting their will towards us, and we need to stand solid, reminding ourselves, this is totally what I was going through. So it says it may be that someone is projecting their will towards us, bingo, with a family member. And we need to stand solid, reminding ourselves that we must defend our rights and block any attacks on our position or our noble selfhood. The passive aspect of power embodies spiritual defense. It's letting these things go by you, and that it's just like seeing them and letting them travel in one ear, out in one ear and out the other. So being passive embodies spiritual defense, precise control, and organization. The opposition we are encountering could be from people like me, issues or events, or from within ourselves. So that just goes to show you that if you let people's fiery darts of lies penetrate your armor, you know, or who you are, then the issue can become an issue within yourself. But that's something that we want to prevent. So perhaps we have built our defenses so compactly that we are in danger of cutting ourselves off from new inspirations or feelings. And that's just a reminder that just because somebody doesn't disagree with you doesn't mean that you can still take their, you know, their view of things and run with it in your own life. You know, maybe the fact that I you know, feel angry with this person for, you know, betraying me in a sense doesn't mean that I have to go ahead and hate everyone else, you know, or hate that person. Like, I don't have to hate anybody. I lead a life of love, and I'm happy to lead a life of love. And just because somebody wants to try to tear me down with their religious beliefs doesn't mean that I'm not going to still go ahead and love people, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Defense is so compact. When we have defenses that are so compact, we could be in danger of cutting ourselves off from new inspirations or feelings. But we must be sure not to imprison ourselves in our own rigid beliefs, myths, or perceptions. So that's just like when I did the Lucifer channeling video the other day, and he was saying that not everybody within every religion is a bad person, and just because people identify themselves with a certain religion doesn't mean you have to, so to speak, throw the baby out with the bathwater, which means like you don't have to throw out the person with their religion. I can still love this person in my family, you know, even though I don't agree with what they're saying. So that's a good insight for me. We must be sure not to imprison ourselves in our own rigid beliefs, myths, and perceptions, because then we can become just as bad as those people, right? The Four of Skulls relates to the sun in Capricorn, referring to the energy of the sun. Deep in the heart of the earth, which provides strength and sustenance, infusing the material world with power. And that's like when we allow the sun, so to speak, the energy of the sun, or, you know, that divine masculine energy to kind of like allow us to, when we allow ourselves to soak up that divine masculine energy, just like a solar powered battery that soaks up the energy of the sun and then shines all through the night because of it's already soaked up the energy of the sun. That's the idea that that we can continue to glean strength and sustenance from that energy that we received. So infusing the material world with power. So it says, the Four of Skulls relates to the sun in Capricorn, referring to the energy of the sun deep in the heart of the earth, that element of fire and the element of earth, which provides strength and sustenance, infusing the material world with power. So that element of earth. And that element of power, which could be the element of, you know, wind. The sun has been anchored in the rich darkness of winter, allowing for a slow, potent vigor to seep into its form and essence. The sun has been anchored in the rich darkness of winter, allowing for a slow, potent vigor to seep into its form and essence. So that seems to be reminding me of winter, because it says the sun has been anchored in the rich darkness of winter. So in the winter months, how so much darkness is abounding around us, and that the sun is still present, and the sun still allows for a slow, potent vigor, which means energy, to seep into its form and essence, into the form and essence of the winter. So the fact that even the winter month accepts the sun and allows the sun to seep into itself. And it's that idea that even though we could be rigid and stern with what we are letting people tell us and what we are letting ourselves believe, we can still be that way and still accept the energy of the sun and the warmth of the sun and be warm people ourselves, even though we're feeling like the winter and blocked off to, you know, certain things. We are still receiving the sun, even though we're cold like the winter sometimes when it comes to having to respond to people. So it says the sun has been anchored in the rich darkness of winter, allowing for a slow, potent vigor to seep into its form and essence. So we can learn a lot from the winter, because the winter still allows the sun to seep into its form and essence. This condensed solar energy uses the structure of the earth to form its desired energy, making the structure its power. So this condensed solar energy, which is the energy that we can allow to seep into us during those hours when the sun is its strongest. So when that energy of vitality is its strongest, we, like the earth, can absorb the energy of the sun, and we can use the energy of the sun to make the idea of the sun our power. So the idea that the sun, like the sign of Leo, which is very like on the good side, it is warm-hearted, it is accepting, it is still full of willpower and energy. So just because we might be cold like the winter months, which is more like the sign of Aquarius, being kind of in its lesser known accepted forms, it can be more aloof. We can be like the winter, more aloof, but still have that power of the sun, which is more warm and friendly. So okay, so on an internal level, the card is about establishing our inner kingdom, our virtues, values, and our belief system, singular, whose center is the ego. So on an internal level, the card is about establishing our inner kingdom, our virtues, values, and our belief system, whose center is the ego. And I was talking about the ego with Lucifer the other day, and he was saying how the ego is that part of ourselves that always wants to believe that we're good. And the idea that it says on an internal level, the card is about establishing our inner kingdom, that belief system, that whole kingdom of all the different things that we have inside ourselves that have caused us to be who we are, our virtues, values, and our belief systems. When I think of virtues, I think of good things, right? Like patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All those virtues are mine. All my values of respecting my elders and being a kind person, and my belief system of being able to tread my own path and not be worried about what other people are saying to me. All those things are centered by my ego, and my ego always wants me to know that I am good. And I think that it's interesting because when I was talking about the ego with Lucifer, he was saying that our ego mixed with religion can cause us to be extreme religious people who actually do a lot of harm to other people. But if we let go of religion and we just accept ourselves with the ego, we become people who have our own inner kingdom, a kingdom that we have built, a kingdom that belongs to us and that no one can tear down, because we have our virtues, our values, and we have made up our own belief system. So the shadow of this card, if it is not expressed in what I just explained about creating your own kingdom and being able to shut down things that you don't believe are true about yourself, but also being able to be warm at the same time if you need to be. So if you don't do that, the shadow is weakness, powerless, restriction or resistance, obstacles, fixation. So that idea that you can keep always running those ideas that people are telling you that you don't believe about yourself through your head. That's fixating on something that isn't true if you don't express that winter and that sun at the same time. Stubborn, overbearing, possessiveness, flighty or impulsive, changeable, chaotic, egotistic, which is like that I'm better than you. You can have an ego, but it doesn't have to be like charged by I am better than you. Power hungry, which I think kind of relates to my family members who are trying to control my life. They're power hungry. Like I was saying at the very beginning, where like I've always been a very sensitive person who's been sensitive to people's opinions and stuff. And I think that a lot of people, will try to take advantage of a person who is like that, to use their sensitivity to have a sort of power over them because they're power hungry. Stifling rules or dogma, that idea that like, what I'm doing is wrong or what you're doing is wrong just based on a religion, corrupt establishments, that idea that even the church has a lot of hypocrites in it. Jealousy or greed, people that could be envious of you because you are finding the truth and they want to do what you are doing, but their religion that they believe in and don't want to be looking anywhere else for anything else, they may feel jealous of you. Suspicious, open to attack. So that idea too, that like the person that wrote me this letter, they could be open to an attack because maybe that's what they're looking for. But the fact of the matter is, I am not going to attack something that I don't even believe to be true for myself. A lack of originality, that idea that every single religious person always believes the same rules. It's like, I've already heard it so many times. Like, I don't need to hear this blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. It's like that teacher that was in the Peanuts comic, Charlie Brown, where she was always like, wah, 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 and that's all Charlie Brown ever heard. Well, that's sometimes how I feel like these people that are expressing their religious beliefs sound like. Anxiety, blindness, and ruin. So that's what this card is about, and I don't really have any like super vampiric stories to tell you, but I do want to mention Lestat because I feel like Lestat is an individual, a character from the Anne Rice novels who is always true to himself. He he doesn't let the criticism of the other, you know, vampires around him, perhaps who have been around longer than him, who maybe don't like the way he's approaching this new vampiric life that he has. The vampire Lestat is always known as the brat prince in the vampire kingdom by the other vampires, because he always does what he feels in his heart is right to do, even if it almost leads him to destruction and ruin. Quite a few times in the books, like when he got his body stolen away by the body thief when he agreed to switch bodies, or like when he got himself involved with the Queen of the Dam and she wanted to keep him like as her slave, or like when he wanted to go with Memnoch the devil and he got taken to hell, and he got taken to hell as well as heaven and also Sheol. But when the last stop he went to was the Memnoch showed him what was considered hell, and he almost lost his eyeball in hell. So I like to encompass that idea of Lestat in me with my vampire spirit, just to encompass that idea that, you know, I am a rebel in my own mind as well, and I will live my life according to how I want to live it and how I believe is right to live it in my heart. On this journey that I was talking to you about, when you chose this life to embody on this physical earth, don't be a liar to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be true to yourself. Okay. You are your own church. You are your own God. Worship yourself. Don't look to outward people or outward deities to tell you what to do. Of course I believe in the male and the female goddess and God. Of course I do. Of course I believe in spirits and ancestors and angels and Goetian spirits. Of course I believe in all that. But you know what? When push comes to shove, at the end of the day, I believe in myself. I believe in myself, and I believe in my journey, my path, and my decision to come and reincarnate in this life and in this body that I'm in to learn the things that only I will ever be able to learn in this body that I have chosen. And the same goes for you. Whether you believe it or not, I think it's good for you to think about the fact that you chose this life. And it's not that you're a victim in this life, but it's that you're a victor. Because if you see your circumstances as something that you chose and as something that you are going to be victorious over, you will be victorious over it. So I just hope that that was a helpful video. I know it's kind of long. I just want to give you another look at this card. It's so beautiful. And I just love the fact that he's got this like blade with like blood on it. He's a vampire. She's chilling out with him. This reminds me of when I was a teenager, you know, chilling out with like my sister, or, you know, just being myself with, even like this so reminds me of somebody who was so comfortable with herself. And that's how I've always been. And I love this skull in the corner here, and this guy with his like armor and like his bloody like sword, and like it's the black sky in the background with the like with the castle and like the moon shining through the clouds, and her tattoos. Her dress is beautiful, her long black hair. I just love this card. So it's the Four of Skulls, and this was vampire entry, my vampire diary entry number 6, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and either give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but at least let me know, if you give me a thumbs down, why you did so. And I'll see you in my next video. Mauh here. Bye guys.